Namaste, and welcome to Tridevi Chamunda Mandir in Denver, Colorado. I'm Yamajit, so glad that you could join me this evening. So tonight we're going to be doing the fifth installment of our Puja and Satsang series on the 15 aspects of Kali, known as the Kali Nityas. Tonight will be the fifth of the Kali Nitya goddesses, Kali Virodhini. And I hope you enjoy our puja and satsang this evening. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements because we have something very exciting coming up in this coming week. And that is the spring 9-night celebration of Navaratri, the 9 nights of Mother Divine. A wonderful time to meditate upon the Divine Mother and ask her to slay our inner demons. And so, similar to the fall Navaratri, we're going to be doing a series of 9 pujas, and we're going to be focusing on one of the key scriptures of the Shakta, that is goddess-based Hindu tradition. And so for the spring Navaratri, for each of our puja celebrations, I'll be focusing on 1 or 2 chapters of this scripture, the Devi Gita, which is actually part of a much larger scripture called the Srimad Devi Bhagavatam. And it's an amazing scripture for learning and for meditation. For each of those 9 nights, we're also going to be honoring one night we're going to be honoring 2 of the Dasha Mahavidya goddesses, the 10 great wisdom goddesses. So Navaratri will begin the evening, Monday evening of April 12th, and I'll be doing nightly pujas at 7 p.m. right here in our inner temple sanctuary. And so the first night I'll be doing the first chapter of the Devi Gita, and also I'll be giving some background information to the scripture. And then those will continue Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday through Friday. Saturday and Sunday we'll be doing a puja as well. Only on those weekend days we'll be doing our pujas at noon. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday will resume at 7 p.m. Wednesday will be the 9th night. Monday and Tuesday, and then the 10th night, which is, I believe, Wednesday, the 21st, I'm going to be doing the culminating Navaratri Puja at our sister temple, Shiva Sai Mandir. And that will also be at 7 p.m. And I invite you to go onto the temple website, shivamandir.org, and you'll get further information on the Navaratri celebrations, including the Zoom link. You can access that puja that particular night. It's going to be an in-person puja, so you can also visit Shiva Sai Mandir that evening. We're also looking to hopefully begin in-person pujas again here at Tridevi Chamunda Mandir beginning in May. So a lot of exciting things coming up. That last puja I'll be doing on the 21st. That's actually the 10th night of Navaratri, called Victory Day. And it will be a fire puja for all 10 of the Mahavidya goddesses. So again, a lot of exciting things coming up. So namaste and welcome, and namaste to Jamie, who's saying a little hello using the chat function. And I invite everyone else too to say a little hello. And let's see who's here. believe that's our friend. I believe that might be our friend Abhishek from India, who's saying namaste as well. And so glad you could make it. So, if you were looking on YouTube, you'll notice that there's an accompanying video to our Puja and Satsang tonight. It's a video of a PowerPoint presentation that I'm actually going to go through this evening and add some commentary to, and then we'll go into our puja to this form of the Divine Mother. So some opening information. The Kali Nityas are a collection of 15 goddesses who are different aspects of Ma Kali. And the first slide that you'll see will have this illustration of the 15 goddesses in their respective orders and their names. They are associated with the 15 nights of the waning lunar cycle. They're similar to another group simply called the Nityas, who are goddesses associated with those same nights. And in their case, they are aspects of the goddess Lalita, or Tripura Sundari, who is the goddess of the Sri Yantra. And I see a question on our chat, and yes, in fact, we're going to be doing Ma Virodhini's yantra tonight, and if you look back at the 4 previous broadcasts, you'll get to hear and you can meditate with the mantras of the previous 4 goddesses. And the remaining, in this case, 10 presentations will also have their mantras as part of the meditation. So the 5th Kali Nitya goddess is Virodhini, and this is her illustration. And as the 5th goddess, she represents the 5th night from the full moon, so the night following the what's called the waning gibbous moon. The moon would look something like this illustration here. Her yantra, like the others we've covered so far, bears the Bij mantra, the seed mantra, Krim, in the center. And Krim is the Bij mantra for Ma Kali. Now, you may, if you think back to the previous broadcasts, you may notice that this yantra looks very familiar. The 2 previous goddesses we've talked about have the same yantra, but the angles in the different triangles represent different aspects of the Divine Mother for each of the Nitya goddesses. So in the case of Ma Virodhini's yantra, the innermost of the 3 triangles in the center represent 3 different aspects of the Divine Mother. One is called Dumra Chirushma, and her name translates to mean she of a purple or gray color. And we talk about the image of Ma Virodhini. It's going to describe that she wears a purple garment. The second goddess in that inner triangle is Jvalini, which means one who burns. And in northern India, in the lower Himalayas, there is an amazing pilgrimage place called Jvalamukhi. And it is the place where there are 9 natural fire springs coming out of the ground in this place. And it is believed to be the place where resides the tongue of the Divine Mother. And I got to spend a couple of days at that pilgrimage place back in 2006. And it's been said that Javalamukhi is the most um, powerful of the Shaktipita pilgrimage places. And having been there and having been to several of the other ones, I have to very much agree with that statement, at least based on the ones that I visited. And then the third form of the goddess in that inner triangle is called Vishvalingini, and her name means she who has a subtle radiance. So that's the first triangle, and the second triangle outside the first. There are the goddesses Susri, which means splendid, Surupa, meaning wise, and Kapila, meaning skull carrier. And this refers to a kapala, or an offering bowl made from a human cranium. And then the outer three Shaktis of the third, the outermost triangle, Haryavaha, which means 8 forms of fire. There's that fire imagery again. Virodhini Mastaki, which means confronting duality in the head. Virodhini, her name itself, means confronting duality. So this thinking that we are somehow separate from everything else. So confronting duality in the head. This refers to meditating on the Divine Mother and gaining purification of our thoughts. Dashami, meaning 10, referring to the 10 Mahavidyas. And then the 8 outermost petals. I'm going to turn back to the yantra again. So we talked about the goddesses of the 3 corners of the 3 triangles. The Bij mantra cream in the center, so Ma Kali herself resides in the center of the yantra. And then these 8 lotus petals on the 8th side, like the other yantras of the Nitya goddesses, represent the 8 matrika, or little mother goddesses. If you look back to recordings of some previous pujas and satsangs that we've done here at the temple over this last year, you'll find information on the matrika, or little mother goddesses, and 8 Bhairavas, that are 8 male consorts. And then in the Pura, which is the 4 gateway enclosure around the lotus petals, reside a group of 8 deities called the Lokapalas or Dikpalas. And I've talked a little bit about them in the previous pujas and satsangs in this series. And I thought, as I was putting this presentation together this week, I should really go into a little more detail about that. So the Dikpalas or Lokapalas are gods, and actually there's one goddess of the 4 directions, and then the 4 cross quarters. So in the north is Kubera, the god of wealth. In the northeast, Ishana, who's a form of Lord Shiva. In the east, the storm god Indra. In the southeast, the fire god Agni. In the south, the lord of death and the underworld, Yama. In the southwest, there's a goddess, Niruti, who's actually a goddess of poverty. And this reminds us that sometimes through the harder times in our life, we gain the best lessons. We sometimes discover untapped strengths within ourselves. In the west, Varuna, the god of the oceans and the waters. And in the northwest, Vayu, the god of the winds. And so those are the 8 deities that reside in that outer enclosure. So each of the Nitya goddesses, in addition to having a yantra with specific deities in it, and they're going to have a separate mantra, they also have a specific meditational visualization. I'm going to invite you to focus on this image during the meditation phase of our puja. And so Virodhini's visualization is full rising breasts, wearing a garland of snakes and bones, terrific in form, with 3 eyes, 4 arms, holding a trident, a serpent noose, a bell, and a damaru, seated on a corpse with a garland of snakes and bones. Her skin color is yellow, and she wears purple clothing or purple garment. And something I've said in previous satsangs about meditational images, when we look upon the image of a deity, of a god or a goddess, when we look at the position they're in, the objects that the deity is holding, that there's a story that's being told. So the color yellow, her skin color, represents knowledge, learning, peace, happiness, and meditation. Purple is a color of spirituality, and similar to in the West, also a color of royalty, is a regal color. Her full breasts represent such things as fertility, sensuality, and also nourishment. Being seated on a corpse and with a garland of snakes and bones, this represents the ability to transcend ordinary existence, including transcending the fear of death through the practices of yoga and meditation. The snake itself represents the rising kundalini, and another of her instruments is a noose, a coil of rope, which is actually a snake. And through those same practices, yoga and meditation, the noose represents the binding of ignorance. Now, I doubt anybody here has ever been to a meditation class or yoga class where the teacher brings in an actual cobra. This is actually a bottle of snake wine from Southeast Asia. And I'm, in honor of Ma Virodhini, I'm including it on our altar. Whoops, that's something else I'm going to talk about here. It's a little top heavy. But something I'll say about the snake wine is if you enjoy the taste of sake, rice wine, you would very much enjoy that. But the trident, which definitely wants some attention here, represents a number of different triads. So the powers of creation, preservation, and destruction. So is represented by such deities as Brahma, Vishnu, and Lord Shiva. Also the powers of will, knowledge, and action, known as Icha Shakti, Jnana Shakti, and Kriya Shakti. And also the trident represents the 3 energy channels of the subtle body, the Ida and the Pingla, and the central channel going up and down the spine, the Sushumna Nadi. Her 3 eyes represent consciousness, not just in this realm, but in realms beyond. And then she carries two instruments, the Damaru drum, a little two-headed drum that's played by shaking it back and forth. This one's made from two carved monkey skulls. And then the bell. So the bell represents feminine energy and the clearing away of distractions during worship. So it's a symbol of prajna, or worship. And then the little drum represents the progression of time and also the vibration of creation. And so we talk about vibrations. This brings us to our mantra. It's one of the longer mantras. Krim, Om, Krim, Hrim, Klim, Hum. Virodhini Zatrun Uchataya. Zatru Kashyakari Hum Vat. So Om is the essence of universal reality, the all-pervading consciousness. It's used in a number of different mantras. Krim, as I mentioned before, is the bij or seed mantra of Ma Kali. Klim is also a Kali mantra, but it's also a mantra associated with Lord Krishna and also the god of love, Lord Kama. And it represents the force of attraction, especially the attractive force of the divine, the force that draws us toward the divine. Hrim is an overall very powerful bij mantra to the Divine Mother herself. Hum is a protective vibration. Zatrun Uchataya roughly translates to one who frightens enemies. This would be our enemies, our inner demons. Zatru Kishikari means destroyer of foes. And then Fat. This represents the deity's destructive power, the destruction again of those things that distract us from our true nature, from our true path. So Fat, in Tibetan, it's pronounced more like Pe. Could translate roughly to mean something like crack or boom. It's like we're bringing the deity in and boom, she's clearing away those distractions. So in our puja tonight, we're going to do our typical cleansing and invocations. We'll do 5 elemental offerings. And then I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and begin to meditate. And I'll again remind you of her vision, her visualization, so that you can focus on that during the meditation. And then we'll do some repetitions of her mantra. And during that time, I'm just going to invite you to relax and let the powers of the mantra just take your awareness to where it needs to be at this moment. So I invite you at this point to make yourself comfortable in the place that you've chosen to watch this broadcast. You can sit on your yoga mat or your meditation space, maybe with a cushion behind your hips to help you be able to sit for a while in a comfortable position with your back straight so that the breath can be open. Or if sitting on the floor is just not working for you right now, you could lie down on your yoga mat or meditation surface in Shavasana, or you can sit in a chair as well. So with all of our practices, there's always options. So I invite you to find that comfortable position and bring the shoulders back. Close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply. Breathing slowly, breathing deeply, completely filling and emptying the lungs of air. Becoming aware of just the sensation of the air as it enters and as it leaves. The sound of the breath, the most basic of all mantras that we repeat 21,000 times every day. And letting this focus on the breath take your awareness away from the cares of the day, the worries of things that have happened, the things that need to happen. Just let those things drop away so you can focus on the present moment. Taking this time for yourself to become closer to the Divine Mother. And especially of the awareness of her presence within yourself. And let this puja serve as a reminder that she is always there with you to guide you and to heal you and to give you aid. And so at this time, if it feels right, I invite you to think about some small issue in your life that's ready for healing or transformation or growth. And I invite you to express to yourself quietly, silently, as an intention that the energies of this puja go toward that healing, toward that guidance, toward that transformation. And you can express this for yourself and or for someone close to you. And then slowly bringing the palms of your hands together at your heart center. And let's open our practice tonight by chanting the syllable Om 3 times. So inhale. Inhale and exhale, and slowly open your eyes. Om Pavitra Pavitrova Sarvavistam Gatopiva Yashmare Pandarikaksham Sabhyabhyanta Sushi. Om Shuklam Bharanam Vishnum Seshivanam Shirsobhajam Asnavanam Dayat Sava Vignopasantaye. Jai Ganesha. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshvara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guru Ve Namah. Jai Guru. Om Trayambakam Yajamaye Sagandim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukam Bandhanan Mrityur Mukshiyamamritat. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Shama Shiva Datri Svasvada Namostute. Jayatvam Devi Chamunde Jaya Bhutita Harani Jaya Sarvagate Devi Kalaratri Namostute. Jai Ma Kali. Jai Ma Kali. Jai Ma Kali Virodhini. Jai Ma. So I invite you now to make yourself comfortable in your space. Close your eyes again and begin to breathe deeply and fully again. Let each breath bring you deeper and deeper into relaxation. And I invite you now to envision yourself in a wooded area at night. You're sitting comfortably beneath a tree, looking up at the sky. The sky is dark. You see stars. But you also see a moon which is just partially full, not completely full, because it is the fifth waning night. This place is quiet and peaceful, and it feels good to be there. And you begin to feel an opening in your heart as you breathe. And before you, illuminated by the light of the moon, you see the form of the Divine Mother that we are honoring tonight. Ma Kali Virodhini, the reliever of duality. She materializes before you, and you look upon her form. With full rising breasts, wearing a garland of snakes and bones around her neck. And in her amazing form, you see that she has 3 eyes and 4 arms, which hold a trident, a coil of rope, which is actually a serpent, a bell, and a little damaru drum. You can hear her play. She is seated upon a corpse. Her skin is yellow, and her clothes are purple in color. And you look upon this form of the Divine Mother, and she looks upon you smiling with approval. And your heart continues to open as you gaze upon her form. And as you meditate on her, you hear the words of her mantra. And she tells you to let the words and the energies of the mantra to guide your consciousness where it needs to be at this moment. Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatro Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kishakari Hum Fat. Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatro Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatro Kyasakaira Hum Fat. Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatro Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatro Kishakari Hum Fat. Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatro Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatro Kishakari Hum Fat. Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatro Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Om Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Om Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Hum Virodhini Zatru Nuchataya Virodhaya Zatru Kshatsakari Hum Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Krim Om Virodhini Zatru Nuchitaya Zatru Kushakaya Om Fat Krim Om Krim Hrim Klim Om Virodhini Zatru Nuchitaya Virodhaya Zatru Kushakari Om Fat. I invite you now to continue breathing deeply and just focusing for a while on whatever comes into your realm of awareness, having meditated upon the form of Ma Kali Virodhini and upon listening to our mantra. Just be aware of whatever manifests. Just let it come. Honor its presence. Listen for any messages. And just let whatever manifests then fade away. And allow yourself just to wait for the next thing that manifests. But just be open to whatever meditation has to reveal for you at this time. I invite you now to take a deep and a clearing breath. Letting go of the meditation and letting your awareness begin to return to yourself and to your surroundings. Hear the sound of my voice and any other sounds that surround you. Feel the sensation of your body sitting upon the floor or your chair, or maybe even lying upon the floor. Become aware of the temperature of the air on your skin. And slowly begin to move your fingers and your toes, your hands and feet, arms and legs. Maybe give just a little stretch while your eyes are still closed. And then bringing the palms of your hands back together at your heart center. And as you continue to bring your awareness back, listen to the words of our benedictions. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Ganesha, Jai Guru, Om Namah Shivaya, Jai Ma Kali, Jai Ma Kali Virodhini, Jai Ma, Jai Ma, Jai Ma. I invite you now to take a deep and clearing breath again, and just very slowly open your eyes. Namaste. Blessings always. Thank you for joining me this evening. Jai Mata Di. So, Cogito, thank you for joining me this evening, and thank you for the wonderful blessing. And Thomas, thank you for joining me, and Jamie, and everyone else. Have a wonderful night, wonderful restful sleep, and wonderful day, wonderful weekend ahead. And I look forward to you joining me on Monday when we begin the wonderful celebration of Navaratri, the 9 days of Mother Divine. Thank you once again. Blessings always. Namaste, Jai Ma, and good night. Susan and Rafa, so glad you could join me. Don't worry about being late. You can always watch the recording. Jai Ma.